Thanks for listening to the Pop Culture Cosmos and the PCC Multiverse. Check out more great podcasts today on one of these awesome affiliate networks.
You're listening to a Weeby Geeks Network podcast.
You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
The Tangibound Network. Check it out. TangiboundNetwork.com. Listen to this show, the latest episode, every time.
A proud member of the Gonna Geek Network. The opinions expressed are those of each individual. Check out all the other geeky podcasts over at GonnaGeekNetwork.com and get ready, because geekiness begins in 3, 2, 1.
On this week's episode, we recap Disney's amazing D23. Is it time to get back into Breaking Bad and let the chicken sandwich wars begin? All this and more as we once again delve into the pop culture cosmos.
Welcome to the pop culture cosmos.
And we're back with another edition of the Pop Culture Cosmos. This is Gerald Glassford from Pop Culture Cosmos and Game Source. We truly appreciate everyone out there listening to all of our great programs. But it wouldn't be a Pop Culture Cosmos without my good friend. He is our fast food connoisseur of Pop Culture Cosmos. You got to check out everything that he's doing today at popculturecosmos.com, Pop Culture Cosmos on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and so much more. It is my good friend. He's probably very hungry after he hears this conversation. It is Josh Peterson. What's up, man?
What's up? Yeah, I've been chowing down on some Wendy's spicy chicken nuggets, but I saw that you got to have a taste of that sweet Popeyes chicken sandwich, so I'm excited to hear about that.
You know, the lengths I go to for this show to report on good stuff that's going on in pop culture knows no bounds, and unfortunately, it led me to Popeyes earlier today before we recorded the show. And I'll tell you what, it's something that had to be seen to be believed. I couldn't believe it with my own two eyes. It just was so amazing, the amount of people that was waiting for this at just random Popeyes here in the Las Vegas area. I can assume it's even larger in various other parts of the United States where Popeyes is really beloved. If you're not in the know as far as what's going on, about 2 weeks ago, Popeyes debuted its own chicken sandwich, which is, you know, when you think about it, is really not that much of a stretch for a chicken place. But yes, they debuted their own chicken sandwich. It's gone super viral out on the internet and social media, and people are going crazy over it. People that go fanatical over places such as Chick-fil-A are heading over to Popeyes in droves, seemingly. That's what I see on social media, and I see all the commentary and seeing all the people, you know, taking photos and whatnot. I can give you my perspective. I didn't think it was that big of a deal as far as the whole experience, as far as thinking it was going to be that big of a deal. But lo and behold, when I got there and I took pictures of it, my goodness, the line for drive-through was wrapped around the actual building itself. It was actually an hour wait if you went drive-through. Now, if you go in, to give you an idea as far as what was going on there, the maximum occupancy in the Popeyes I went to was 75. It was right at 75 because people were waiting over an hour for these chicken sandwiches. In fact, I ordered mine and got mine 90 minutes almost to the dot later, as far as ready and in my hands. 90 minutes before I could get my hands on one of these chicken sandwiches.
Do you think that has anything to do with just the hype going around? You think they're all there for the chicken sandwich?
Absolutely. That's all they were making. That's all they were talking about. In fact, by the time I left around 1:30 in the afternoon, they had already run out of butter to butter the bread for the chicken sandwiches because they were just making so many, because it was just left, right, sandwich after sandwich after sandwich after sandwich. People were there, they were all just couldn't believe that you had to wait over an hour literally for one chicken sandwich. You know, that's all I ordered was just one chicken sandwich, nothing else with it, just one chicken sandwich, and it took 90 minutes to get into my hands. I could not even believe it. Why did I do it? Because I wanted to go ahead and experience what was hot that's going on in social media. You see the wars that are out there, Chick-fil-A trying to come back with its own peace and love, and our chicken sandwich is better, la, 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 la. Wendy's, if you're not following Wendy's on social media, you don't know what's up, because they're usually very snarky, very funny, and they've laid their 2 cents in when it comes to chicken sandwiches. But to me, after I finally got in my hands, as I said in the comments on my own personal page, I actually thought I should have just sold it on eBay, because I probably would have made a sheer grand off of it. But I did try it. It is pretty darn good. And I'm sorry I'm getting into blasphemy here, my friend, but it is better than Chick-fil-A. But is it the best chicken sandwich I had? It's close, but I've had better.
I'm amazed at, as Wendy's has proven time and time again, just how far a viral campaign can go. If you have somebody smart managing your Twitter, then you can really sell a lot of stuff. Wendy's has always been on point, right? And they had all of that day where Wendy's Roast Me Day, and so they had all these emo bands going on there, and Wendy's was roasting them, going, yeah, you haven't had a hit since 2006 or whatever it was. But it just goes to show you, man, if you get out there and word goes around and your product goes viral through social media, that there is really no limits to how many you can sell. And let me ask you this, though. If you liked the chicken sandwich, is it something that you would wait in line a second time to have?
That's what I was asked first thing by one of my good friends here. She asked me, was it worth the wait? No, there's no food that I know of, unless you really have to wait for it. If you're starving or you're hungry, and I get that. But if you don't have to wait for a food for 90 minutes, any food item, I wouldn't wait 90 minutes. I'm sorry. This was a good sandwich. Again, it's not my all-time best. You can go back and forth on different chicken sandwiches. I personally like Raising Cane's a little tiny bit better, but this one was number 2 for me. Then you go Wendy's, you go Jack in the Box. They've got a great sandwich as well. Chick-fil-A, they're a little bit down on the list, and I'm sorry. You can send the comments to me with the hate mail and all that stuff. I'm sorry. Just Chick-fil-A just doesn't do it for me like it does for a lot of people, but if it does for you, more power to you. But yes, it was something that was very interesting, but I would not wait again 90 minutes. I had to do it for this show, and that's the only reason why I did it.
So can we expect a full sandwich breakdown here in the coming days? A little written review or video review? How do we find out what our good friend Gerald Glassford thought of this amazing chicken sandwich?
You know what? I think I'll go ahead and do that. I actually took pictures of it, what it looks like, and the whole 9 yards. You know what? Instead of going to my social media page, which I don't really want you doing, we'll go ahead and I'll make a little article on it, because I've seen actual articles already talking about that, talking about hamburgers, In-N-Out, what a burger, that type of duel, why Chick-fil-A is so great and their foods. You know what? I think I'll go ahead and I'll throw that coming up this week on one of our popculturecosmos.com pages, or also as well popculturecosmos.wordpress.com. But it is going to be a great episode. Josh and I are in the catbird seat today. I do apologize. Chris Ardieri couldn't make it on today because he had to go ahead and reshuffle the decks because of the retirement of Andrew Luck and also the major injury to Lamar Miller. While he's reformulating all the stuff that's going on in his world as far as fantasy football, hopefully he'll be able to record something with me to give you tips and tricks as far as how to get ahead in your fantasy football draft and team going forward. That I'm looking forward to doing this week, so I apologize we couldn't put it on today's show, but we do have a loaded show for you anyways, because D23 took place this weekend. Josh and I are going to cover as much as we can on what the big stuff was that was going on, share our thoughts on it, and just have like a little free-flowing conversation on what went on at D23 this weekend. Breaking Bad is in the news. I know a lot of people have a soft spot for Breaking Bad after so many years on AMC. And you know what? There is a Breaking Bad movie that's been made, and it's just about ready to be released. In fact, if you want to go ahead and check out our Facebook page, Pop Culture Cosmos, you'll see a trailer for El Camino. We're going to talk about El Camino later in the show, and if it's something Breaking Bad fans should be looking forward to. Plus, also as well, we're going to break down another 10 video games on our list of the top 200 video games of all time. That's 171 to 180 coming up on the show as well. But my friend, this weekend had to have been dominated once again by D23. Disney just all over the place once again. I don't know, man. They just do it once again. I know you are all Disney-fied out, but you got to admit, man, especially when it's nearby you in the OC, they can really do a party, and they really know how to get people's attention.
Well, yeah, naturally, anything Disney is going to get a lot of attention too. Like Disney, I honestly, I think, at the end of it all, Disney is going to be Disney, Apple, and Amazon owning everything. And so naturally, anything they do because they have the money for it is going to be really big. But yeah, a lot of cool stuff coming out of D23 as far as Star Wars announcements, Marvel announcements, a lot of the stuff we already knew about, but we got, confirmations, and we got the cast of Eternals came out on stage. We got to see their costumes. Kit Harington introduced into the MCU playing Black Knight. And they did make some Pixar announcements on a couple new Disney properties. So I'm kind of reading up on those right now. But yeah, what were your thoughts?
Well, they did an extensive amount of content information, especially when it concerns Disney Plus, which is coming out on November the 12th. They talked about a lot of shows that are being reborn or being, developed that are off of a lot of the properties that they have. So if you're into the Muppets, you got a Muppet show coming up. If you're into Lizzie McGuire, you got a Lizzie McGuire being reborn. If you're into so many of the different aspects of the Disney realm, they're bringing it out for you, rest assured, because there's so many different announcements that are out there that was made by Disney in regards to all the content that's coming. Just an amazing amount coming to Disney Plus. Obviously, they're trying to put their stake and foothold very quickly into the streaming service. Now, all these shows will not be coming out on November 12th, but it's nice to know that they do have it in the pipeline, that they do have all the stuff that they're going to go ahead and try and get to viewers out there as soon as they can. But, just the sheer amount of stuff that they want to go ahead and introducing, whether it's non-Star Wars or Marvel related, or even Marvel and Star Wars related. They even added 3 new shows to the list of Marvel shows coming to the Disney Plus streaming service. I want to get your thoughts real quick on the Marvel shows. Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, which is being developed by Lawrence Fishburne. That's an animated series coming to the Disney Channel. But when it comes to Disney Plus, I want to hear your thoughts on, are you excited for a Moon Knight series, She-Hulk, and Miss Marvel having their own series coming to Disney Plus?
It's something I would definitely be down, because it sounds like She-Hulk could be like the live action Hulk that we never really got the in-depth version of, because we had Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton, then we didn't see Hulk till a bunch of team up films. So this might be a chance to get in depth with the Hulk, and from a different perspective too, from a female perspective, from somebody who we haven't seen, which could be cool. Moon Knight is actually an interesting story, because Moon Knight, much like the Blade announcement, Moon Knight really surprises me, because the character of Mark Spector, like, he is, even in the regular Marvel universe and the Ultimate Marvel universe, he's a very psychotic character, and he's a good guy sometimes, he's a bad guy sometimes, but his story is very psychological and it's very dark. So I'm curious, how far are they going to go with this, because they can't do it. When I imagine Moon Knight, I imagine him in the vein of a Netflix show, like Daredevil, and I guess you even say Jessica Jones, but I don't see him being good in a campy show, if that makes sense. That one was a really big surprise announcement. I've always loved the character, but it would have to be done right, or else it would just kind of leave a bad taste in people's mouths.
Well, we'll have to see what's going on. And with She-Hulk's character, She-Hulk has that background in law. Is that correct?
Yeah, if I remember, she is a lawyer. She's a practicing lawyer, because she has been in a lot of Daredevil comic books with Matt Murdock. So that would make sense. Miss Marvel's the one that would fascinate me the most, just because I don't really know much about that character. I know there's Captain Marvel, and for some reason I always thought that she was just a kid version of Captain Marvel. So it's something I would probably be interested in. What do you think about the character, though?
I am interested to see how she'll be integrated, because it was also alluded to that her character, after her series is done, will probably be integrated in some form or fashion into the larger Marvel Cinematic Universe. So she is someone that probably will be sticking around long after her series is done, whenever they decide to go ahead and release it. So yeah, I'm interested. I know Moon Knight has been I don't want to say a cult favorite, but he's been a favorite of a certain collection or certain group of comic book fans for some time now. And to put him on this type of stage where you're going to create a series after him, shows that obviously they have future plans for him as well.
Well, that would be the hope for all of them, right? If you're going to do a TV show of these characters, you would hope that they would eventually be integrated into the bigger universe. What I'm wondering right now is if, when the dust is cleared from the Netflix thing, if there's, after the two years passes when they're not allowed to use these characters anymore, are they going to be bringing Charlie Cox's Daredevil and Luke Cage's character? I forget who plays the part, but are they going to be bringing those characters over? Because Moon Knight in the comic books, he's in that underground street scene with Daredevil, with Iron Fist, with Shang-Chi even. I'm hopeful that they would bring all these characters together and give us like the team-ups that we want, if not on the big screen, at least on the television shows, the streaming service.
That's something to think about, yes, as they go ahead and integrate those characters into a larger part of the Marvel Universe. And we'll be seeing series coming in the future of She-Hulk, Ms. Marvel, and Moon Knight coming to Disney Plus in the near future. I know a lot of people were also talking about the footage that was shown from Rise of Skywalker, the next Star Wars movie that's coming out in December. And did you hear about what's going on? Because they couldn't show it to us out in the public, but to what they showed off at D23 was very interesting, including where Rey in red with a double-sided lightsaber a la Darth Maul.
Yeah, I did hear about that. There's got to be something going on there because they wouldn't have weaved her as a... I almost feel like it would be a disservice to the character they created through her. She's a female protagonist in a Star Wars film, and all these little girls like idolize her, and I actually think that she's a good character. It seems like it would be a disservice to have her be evil in the end. So I'm wondering if maybe what they saw was a vision of what could be, a vision of what could pass. This new trilogy has had its ups and downs, and I know that J.J. Abrams kind of inherited a mess after Rian Johnson took over because they didn't really know where they wanted to go with the series after that. So I hope it goes out on a good note, man. Story-wise, it wouldn't make sense to make her Sith, but, maybe Kylo Ren becomes a good guy. That it's not campy, but it feels too obvious to me, and it's not something I'd want to see personally.
And more was announced when it comes to into the Star Wars realm, when it comes to a lot of the stuff that they were talking about with Star Wars. In fact, did you get a chance to see the Star Wars Mandalorian trailer that was finally released to the public? I think it looked pretty good. I think it was something that will get a lot of people interested into the darker, seedier side of the Star Wars universe.
Okay, yeah. So the Mandalorian's interesting because back when LucasArts was closing down, George Lucas had been working with them because they were making a game in the same universe that George Lucas was working on at that moment. So George Lucas was bringing Star Wars as a TV show, and it was based on the Mandalorian. It was based he was a bounty hunter, and they're showing the underbelly side